Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzma here, live with a severe thunderstorm warning here on August 11th, 2025. Let me know if you guys can hear me all right. Might be a little bit of an echo. Do not have my headphones in at the current time, but we'll go ahead and get started with a severe thunderstorm warning in southeast Michigan. As you come in here, feel free to hit that like button. Show your support for operations here at MSC. Again, we'll be live here from beginning to end as the severe thunderstorm rolls across southeast Michigan. Sound is good. Perfect. Thank you guys very much. Cat's meowing outside my door. We'll go ahead and get this information rolling here. The National Weather Service in Detroit Pontiac has issued this severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Lapeer, northeastern Oakland, northern Macomb, and northwestern St. Clair County in southeastern Michigan until 5:45 Eastern. At 4:42 Eastern, a severe thunderstorm was located near Romeo, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. Hazards with this one are 60 mile per hour wind gusts. This is radar indicated. Expect damage to roofs, sidings, and trees. The severe thunderstorm will be near Romeo in the next minute or two. Elmont 4:50, Armada 4:55, Memphis 5:10, and Emmett around 5:15. Other locations impacted by this severe thunderstorm include Burrville, Leonard, Riley Center, Allenton, Brockway, and Lakeville. People attending Armada Fair should seek safe shelter immediately, according to the text here in the National Weather Service's severe thunderstorm warning. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. So if you are at the fairgrounds, you do not want to be taking shelter in something that is like a temporary structure. You do want to find some substantial structure, as again, this is 60 mile per hour winds gusting through the area. So again, if you're at the Armada, however you pronounce it, fair, the town of Armada as well, you guys are in the path of these 60 mile per hour winds, which right now are located right here on radar. This is in the extreme northwest corner of Macomb County, near the proving, actually right over the proving grounds, about 2 miles outside of Romeo to the northwest, and traveling right down 34-mile road, about to cross over State Highway 53. If you know anyone in this area of Macomb County, primarily northern Macomb County, you do want to let them know that 60 mile per hour winds are moving their way. The orange box kind of shows you where the storm is heading. Again, if you are in this orange polygon, you know you live inside of this orange polygon that is flashing on the screen. That means you are in a severe thunderstorm warning, and you likely had alerts pop up on your phone. If you are elsewhere in Macomb or Oakland County and you're like, well, I didn't hear the warning in my phone, well, that is likely because you are not inside of that orange box. Again, that orange box clips only northeastern Macomb or northeastern Oakland County and northern Macomb County. So if you're down near New Haven, Shelby, Utica, New Baltimore, you guys are in the cleared. Same thing down towards Mount Clemens, Fraser, and Warren. If you are north of this orange line, you are in it. So Armada and Romeo. As you can see, you're going to be echoing, Ryan. I'm just going to give you a fair warning on that, because I do not have headphones today. There you go.
There you go.
Yep. I don't even think your sound's coming through. I gotta fix this again. While I do this, again, if you are in the southeast corner of Lapeer County and the southwest corner, the more northern southwest corner of St. Clair County, you are in the severe thunderstorm warning up to the north. This would be heading towards the I-69 corridor from Capac down towards Emmett, and that entire M19 corridor, pretty much from Richmond up through Memphis, Emmett, and Yale. That is the extent of that severe thunderstorm warning. We also have a couple statements in effect across the state right now. One big one for the downtown Detroit, Wayne County, southern Macomb, and southern Oakland County areas as well. 40 mile per hour winds possible with these storms down here. We have a couple different cells rolling across Wixom, Farmington Hills. We have a cell in Westland, and a couple of smaller cells down near Milan and Ypsilanti, which I do believe we had a report behind the scenes of about half-inch hail falling in Milan. Did not get a picture report with that, but we did have a viewer report that small hail in the vicinity of Milan. So keep that in mind with that cell that is traveling kind of parallel to 94, heading towards Romulus. If we go ahead and check up into the northern lower Michigan, this is also where there's some action going on. Strong thunderstorm moving through Presque Isle and Rockport at the current time. The current time is on the bottom of your screen, 4:49 p.m. This statement in the tan box is in effect for winds of 50 miles per hour, and the storm is moving off to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. Elsewhere around the state, if you are in West Michigan, surprise, surprise, no precipitation once again. That will change likely tomorrow, hopefully. We can get some precipitation in West Michigan, but unfortunately for today, all of the storms, the showers of storm action will be over in the thumb, eastern, and southeastern Michigan, as well as up near the bridge and northeast lower.
Well, I got a view in here for Imlay City if you want to take my screen.
Okay. I'll mute my mic if you want to narrate. That is true. Never mind. You are not coming through. Let me see if I can fix this again. Try now.
Hello.
Nope.
I believe Tyler is also out chasing.
Every time I come back, this always happens. Try now.
Hello.
No luck. Okay. We got Ryan in here, y'all. I'm just trying to figure this out.
It's okay. You can low and lead.
There
I'm coming
we go.
through.
Got you now. You're going to be really loud, probably.
Oh, I was just going to pull up the camera here and show you guys the beautiful view of the storm looking south from Imlay City. This is just to the north, looking to the south at the severe thunderstorm. So it's going to be courtesy of Valley Farms. You can see the rain shield there. And if you zoom in, actually, you can see it's very, very pronounced. On the edge of that rain shield, perhaps some gustier winds on the leading edge. So this is a severe warning here in effect. Looks like the burst of winds is between Almont and Romeo, heading toward Armada, Memphis, and Emmett, as well as Capac. I want to thank Valley Farms for sponsoring this camera and providing us a beautiful view. I think this is the first time, or one of the first times I've used this camera in one of our streams here for coverage. So it's coming in handy.
Yes, thank you very much, Valley Farms. And this is in eastern Michigan, kind of in the thumb area, southern thumb. Current time. We'll switch back to radar, and we'll actually put the camera in the bottom left, so we'll keep it on the screen.
Do we have Tyler out by chance? I believe he said he was chasing.
Yep.
We
there
do.
he is.
Cool.
Gotta switch back to the DTX radar real quick. And zoom in on, actually I'm going to switch to the storm motion vector before I forget as well. 237 at 26 knots. That makes it look really interesting. It looks like we'll have to use normal base velocity. A couple pixels in here on our velocity radar that have just passed over M53 south of Almont, north of Romeo, around 54 to 55 miles per hour. As the storm moves off to the east, this is getting further away from the radar site, so that means the beam is more likely to overshoot the bottom of these storms. So at the current time, we can't really see anything below 1,500 feet. And usually that's where the strongest of the winds are gusting down in a microburst or downburst in this situation. So keep in mind, severe winds likely still ongoing. This is in the vicinity of Romeo Plank Road, McFadden Road, Brown Road and McKay Road, all north of 34 mile. We can tell based on our velocity here. Again, this is the velocity radar, meaning winds moving towards and away from the radar site. Winds moving away from the radar site are shown in red. The brighter the colors towards more of the yellow, that means the more likely that the winds will be severe. In this instance, if we hover over this pixel, this is a 54.8 mile per hour pixel directly on McKay Road near Oak Creek Lane. And that is going to continue towards Armada and Burrville in the coming minutes. Current motion of the storm is still off to the northeast at 30 miles per hour with these 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So rather slow. Still, if you are within the path of the storm, you do want to be taking shelter in an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. A basement's obviously going to be your best bet. Any way to shelter yourself away from exterior walls or trees may be at. Look at that new downdraft happening on your screen there, Ryan.
Yep. Indeed it is.
Feel free to zoom in on that. That's really cool. Kind of looks like octopus arms.
It does, doesn't it?
So we are watching the birth of a new rain shower, in a way, as that cloud base opens up.
That's so cool.
I'm trying to figure out what storm that would be on the radar, because there's a lot of cells in this area. I believe it's the cell that is going to be on Old 21 between Imlay City and KPAC, which for those who are curious is this cell right here. So flip back to my radar. Winds are also gusting a little bit there on the camera. You can see the power lines bouncing up and down just a tad. This is very mesmerizing to watch right now. That's all I'm going to say. For those who are curious, I had my finger hovering over the submit button for our severe weather forecast for tomorrow, and of course I look at the radar and I see a blob of 60 to 65 mile per hour winds moving in towards Romeo, and I'm like, I probably should hold off on that. So rest assured, there is a severe weather outlook coming for tomorrow. Spoiler alert, everyone in the Lower Peninsula has at least a 1 to 4% chance of seeing severe weather tomorrow. So keep that in mind. You'll see that on the map that will be released likely at the conclusion of this severe weather coverage. And it'll be posted on Facebook first, followed by Instagram, X, and Threads. Those are all the platforms we post our physical content on that is not, video related. As always, our live streams can be watched right now currently live on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch TV. The username is MI Storm Chasers. That is very, very impressive. A very nice downpour out there. Likely rainfall rates of about 1.5 inches per hour falling with this storm. Good news is, compared to storms that we've had over the last couple weeks, these storms are moving today and not sitting in the same spot. So 30 miles per hour will push it off to the northeast rather quickly. We'll drop probably a quick inch or two of rain in some locations, but nothing that will warrant a flash flood warning. That will change likely tomorrow, as we do have repetitive showers and storms likely to move through the state. And that will result in some rainfall rates of likely 2 to 3 inches in some spots. And we'll have a rainfall map out either late tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. Update to the severe thunderstorm warning has trimmed it from Oakland County. Oakland County, you are in the clear from the severe warning. Leonard, that would include you guys. It's basically the only city I see in this previously severe thunderstorm warned storm. Continues for the southeast corner of Lapeer County, the northern southwest corner of St. Clair County, since there's two southwest corners, and northern Macomb. Remains in effect till 5:30 p.m. So about a half hour on it. Looks like our pixels have picked back up some more brighter colors. Close to 60 miles per hour again. These are bearing down on Burrville, going right down the St. Clair-Macomb County line, maybe just to the north of Memphis, and eventually heading up towards I-69 right now during evening rush hour. So keep that in mind if you are traveling I-69. The severe thunderstorm warned storm is moving into your vicinity probably by, I would say probably 5:15, probably about another 15 minutes. And the northern extent is approaching it right now, but the apex of these damaging winds, which are right now on that St. Clair-Macomb County line, still got about 5-10 miles away on a northeast trajectory from getting to the interstate. And moving at 30 miles per hour, that'll be impacting probably Emmett around 5:15 to 5:20. Once again, this severe thunderstorm warning falls on another day where the Storm Prediction Center has put this in a general thunderstorm outlook, kind of similar to last summer. We get these random severe thunderstorm warnings on thunderstorm days. When we have a lot of instability out there, again, temperatures in and near 90 degrees on the east side of the state today, has a lot of storm fuel available for these storms to quickly become severe with how much CAPE is out there. So that is what we're seeing out there today, right now in northern Macomb County. These weather cameras are not PTZ. These are stationary. Now, with potential for severe thunderstorms across the state tomorrow, we will be live. Again, it's just like our motto says, from beginning to end, as needed. So if you are new here, welcome. Appreciate you for tuning in. And I'm Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzmo alongside Ryan. He's popped in now too, right below me. He's the president of all operations here at MSC. And we will cover all 83 counties as needed for severe weather tomorrow, if and when it does pop up, of course. And we'll go live and stay live until the threat has diminished. Just like today with this current severe thunderstorm warned storm that is now entering pretty much the entirety of the northern southwest corner of St. Clair County. Panning back down south real quick to the Metro Detroit region, Wayne County, southern Oakland, southern Macomb. Showers are continuing to fizzle a little bit. Switching over to our ZDR radar, which is our measurement of buoyancy. It's kind of hard to see. I'm actually going to switch back to mine so it's a little bit easier to see. Real quick, and put Imlay City in the bottom left. But we are looking at a lot of neutral to negative buoyancy ongoing out there right now, which means these thunderstorms are pretty much all collapsing across the Metro Detroit region. Anywhere where you see the cooler colors is a collapsing storm. If you see any reds, that is a storm that is billowing up. Similar, or kind of like what we're seeing up here in our severe thunderstorm warned storm. That's basically it, though. Statement has been dropped for Presque Isle and Alpena County. It has expired, I should say, at 5 o'clock. The special weather statements in southeast Michigan are in effect till 5:30, similar to our severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll probably have another half hour of coverage here before the storm goes below severe limits. We might actually have an extension of this warning, Ryan, if this storm continues to produce these 60-mile-per-hour winds once it crosses I-69. So likely severe thunderstorm warning coming within the next 10 minutes if this continues for eastern St. Clair County.
Yeah, I agree.
Tomorrow's storm timing, going to be tough. You're going to see it in our details here on our post once it is posted on our Facebook page and all of our other social media pages. But multiple rounds expected tomorrow, kind of all over the place, and also multiple modes are also possible. So we have tiny little line segments that could pop up, and if there's enough capping going on in some portions of the state, we could have isolated supercells capable of all hazards. So keep that in mind. There's not really going to be a timing map for tomorrow. It's kind of just going to be similar to today where thunderstorms pop up anywhere and everywhere primarily after sunrise. Actually, we could have some morning storms move through, primarily in West Michigan, but really after the 11 o'clock hour, 11 a.m. noon, we really start to see kind of isolated to widespread, scattered, strong to severe storms across the lower peninsula and even up into the UP as well along that cold front. The only severe thunderstorm warning again remains in effect in the state is for portions of St. Clair and northern Macomb counties. You can also include the far southeast corner of Lapeer County. If you're not in any of these locations, you are in the clear for severe weather at the current time. It's kind of similar to a lot of our days this summer where we have one severe thunderstorm warning effect in the state and everyone else is in the clear. However, if you know anyone in the path of the storm, show you care, like and share. Even if you do not know anybody in this area, it does help boost the algorithm for your fellow Michiganders. We'd love to be an outlet for all Michiganders across the state. Switching over to, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at chat real quick. Couple of memberships here. Linodium, member for 13 months now. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming back for month number 13. We also have a new member that just came in, Jim H, on our YouTube channel. Welcome to the team. Appreciate your support. Severe thunderstorm warning has been trimmed again. No, not yet. Waiting for one, though. Next trim will likely take it out of Lapeer County. The apex of those winds are now fully into St. Clair. So Almont, you guys are likely in the clear by now. As you can see, the storm is now completely passed over the town. Imlay City, you are never in the warning, but you are in the clear. Just a nice heavy shower passing through right there. And you can see it on our Imlay City cam from Valley Farms in the bottom left corner. So the apex of these winds are now quickly approaching I-69. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was going to say, just mentioned Imlay City there. It just started to rain a little bit heavier there. Off the bottom left of the screen, though, you can definitely see what we call a rain boot, where there's rain falling with a lot of force. It kicks it outward and kind of turns into like a little bit of a boot feature that That indicates that we likely have some gusty winds still on the leading edge of this line.
Ryan, I got you full if you want to take a nice zoom. It's kind of almost falling off the screen now, but you can kind of see that boot over there in the left side.
Yeah, it's kind of angled out here. It's a classic downburst signature.
There we go. If you guys are just tuning in right now, if you're just tuning in, especially from the west side of the state and northwest lower, I can assure you guys no severe weather likely tonight there. Chances for storms are dwindling fast. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center does not even have really most of West Michigan, Northwest Michigan in a severe threat for the rest of the night, or a thunderstorm threat for that example. UP, I know there were storms forming off an outflow boundary from the lake, or lake breeze, I should say. And those storms do continue through Newberry and Hulbert, as well as kind of paralleling US 2 near and east of Manistee. Otherwise, if you're in the western UP, a nice clear night out there. A nice clear day it has been as well. Zooming back down to our severe thunderstorm warning. We'll continue to monitor this as it is now probably about 2 minutes from crossing over I-69, the heaviest of the winds. Maybe even less than that, probably about another minute. Closing in on Emmett as well. Yeah, make sure you guys' streams are caught up. Again, the live time is down there in the bottom right corner. It is currently 5:09 in 30 seconds. If you're watching within 30 seconds, you are caught up. Otherwise, feel free to refresh the stream, and you'll be probably caught up once you do. A nice little cell that's popped up over Richmond. That is not of any concern at the current time. It's so small, it's about 4 square miles wide. It's a tiny little shower there. Tiny but mighty. That's a good way to put it. This is crossing over M19 in downtown Richmond at the current time. But the heaviest of the winds are going to be in this main pocket north of Burrville heading towards Emmett, where these brighter colors are at. We'll say there's not any pixels that depict 60 mile per hour winds, but there are some in here that depict 50 to 55. Now granted, the storm is moving further and further away from the radar. This is in the vicinity of Miller Road and Dunn Road, pretty much paralleling I-69 on Burt Road. But again, as the storm moves away from the radar site in Pontiac, the beam will continue to overshoot the bottoms of these storms where that wind is rushing out the quickest. So it is likely we still have at least 60 mile per hour winds in this vicinity of the state, southeast side in St. Clair County. See, the latest scan just came in, puts another pixel of 50 to 55 mile per hour winds on Miller Road near Atwell Road. This is on the north side of I-69 now, passing between Capac and Emmett. If you're in this orange box, you are in that severe thunderstorm warning. It's also important to know kind of where you live on a map, because when we post maps like this, not all the roads or the towns are showing. And obviously we can't cover every single house and road at the exact same time, so do yourself a favor and make sure you know where you're located on a map when it comes to severe weather days like this, so that when we mention these roads, they might be somewhat familiar to you if you live in this area. Excuse me. So this is going to be passing over Old M21 between Capac and Emmett in the next 30 seconds. What I mean by that, of course, is going to be the apex of those damaging winds. There's obviously already heavy showers on Old M21 and north up near Foley Road and Sullivan Road. However, the heaviest of the winds, when we switch back to velocity radar, you can see denoted by the brighter colors in red and orange just north of I-69. Tyler is in Macomb County, heading towards New Baltimore, so he is a little bit far away from the storm at the current time. Looking to see if there's any more gusty winds out there with any nearby storms. Not seeing a whole lot that's kind of catching my eye. I'll go back down to the Detroit Doppler, the airport, and the heaviest of the winds near the airport. There's not a whole lot, honestly, Ryan.
Yeah, there's not much else. Can't talk again. There's not much else happening severe weather-wise besides this one storm that we're tracking up there. But yeah, there's a few pockets of some showers, but generally speaking, this is a pretty, so far, subtle day, minus this one storm that's kind of gone rogue.
Mm-hmm. Alerts, as always, if you are missing any of the alert details, can be found at the bottom of the screen on the bottom crawler. We have 2 special weather statements out there and a severe thunderstorm warning. The severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5:45. I believe they extended the time on that, actually. It was 5:30. They bumped it to 5:45 now. And this is for St. Clair and northern Macomb, although the storm is, at this point, all the way in St. Clair County. And I would be inclined to believe that this storm will get an extension of a new warning or a new statement here within the next 5 minutes, as this is now approaching the end of that box. This is just a damaging wind threat. There's no real big hail threat with this. Correlation coefficient, just to double check. Not seeing anything yellows and greens mixing in with our reddish purple tint. So good news there. And base velocity just shows outflow winds from this thunderstorm. If we were looking for rotation, we would see reds and greens close together. This is all reds as these winds are moving away from the radar site located in Pontiac. Don't believe we have any more cameras out here, unfortunately, Ryan.
Yeah, unfortunately, do not. I was thinking about that here, and I just don't have anything else to pull up, so. I just went ahead and continue that warning. It appears everything has been maintained.
They are trimming it. Orange box has been trimmed, so Macomb and Lapeer County, you guys were in part of this severe thunderstorm warning box. As you can see, the new shape has trimmed it down, so Macomb and Lapeer are in the clear. So this new severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for just St. Clair County. Northwestern St. Clair County is what it says. At 5:15, a severe thunderstorm is located over Emmett or near Capac, moving northeast at 30 still. And a storm is in Emmett as we speak, or about to be in the next 3 minutes. Other locations impacted by this severe thunderstorm include Burrville, Riley Center, Allenton, and Brockway, although this storm is now pretty much through Burrville. Once again, 60-mile-per-hour winds, hail not expected, tornadoes not expected. Dashcam video is at noon. Now, that's one of our many chasers we have here at MSC. That is Tyler. He's chasing in Macomb County. We've had a large crew of chasers for a while here, and depending on the day, sometimes they're out there, sometimes they're not. Making sure to get some good shots of the storms or nearby cloud structure for this strong severe weather that's occurring right now on August 11th. Tyler is in the New Baltimore area, so he's a little far away from this severe thunderstorm warned storm, but he is now, I believe, facing north towards it, so he has a decent view on it. Go ahead and take him live for a brief moment there. Yeah, that's the storm. Up and ahead. Oh, there's a couple cells that are kind of blocking its view as well, so this might be some of them in front. I actually think the majority of the storm here, Ryan, is on the left side of the screen there, because I think there's a couple cells. He's heading towards New Haven and Richmond. There's 2 cells that are along M19, and this storm is just off to his left corner. That's where it looks the darkest too. Statements which are labeled in tan, mind you, are in effect 5:30. We do have a couple cells that are in the vicinity of downtown Detroit in Wayne County and Warren. Nice downpour has just opened up along, this is going to be 696. Yep, 1696 in Warren, as well as I-75 in the Royal Oak area. A couple cells in Dearborn and one cell in Whitaker. Also, widespread showers and storms popping up in Lenawee County. That one is directly over Ryan.
It's raining.
There's one, yeah, directly over Ryan in the northeast corner of Lenawee County. And a couple of tiny little rain showers back in far western Washtenaw and Jackson County that are not of any concern right now. Also have some shower and storm action ongoing in northeast lower Michigan. Most of these storms are now pushing out of Lake Huron, Misery Bay, and a couple cells in Alcona County, which they have been the talk of the town the last week. A lot of severe storms up there. And we have 2 more cells passing through today that are not currently strong or severe and do not show any signs of strong winds or hail. So these are just garden variety thunderstorms near and north of M72, heading towards Lost Lake Woods and Lincoln. This storm is expanding its mass in a way to the north and to the south. It's kind of becoming a tiny little line segment. However, the winds are not as impressive anymore, in my opinion. There are still some gusty winds in here near Emmett. As I said, 5:20 was the arrival time in Emmett, and that is currently what's ongoing. Do have some pixels around 50 miles per hour, so that will bring down some branches, maybe a couple of dead trees. But again, these storms might be just below severe as it rolls off to the northeast. Would not be surprised, though, if they continue severe thunderstorm warning, given the fact that we actually don't know, based on this radar data here, what's happening below 2,700 feet in the specific location of the state. So it's very well possible that these 50-mile-per-hour winds are actually 60 in the vicinity of Emmett. So if you know anybody in eastern St. Clair County, and perhaps the southern southeast corner of, that's going to be Sanilac County near Lexington Heights in Lexington, feel free to share the stream and like it as well. Either helps. We do love to help all Michiganders, so make sure to do that today. Otherwise, the heaviest of winds right now, as it stands, are on M19 between Yale and Emmett. I was only 60 off there. So Avoca is up next. They are not in a severe thunderstorm warning, but this storm is now on the edge of this severe thunderstorm warning box. You can see denoted in the orange square, an orange polygon is what we're going to call it. And that storm is solely inside of it, but it's about to break loose and outside of it. So Bricker Road's kind of the cutoff line for the severe thunderstorm warning. So once you move east of Bricker Road, that's where the severe thunderstorm warning ends. So kind of waiting to see if there's going to be a statement here. Tyler, I see your comment. Not as fun chasing storms when you hit every single red light. That is for sure.
I gotta go, Joel. I will see you later.
Okay, sounds good. I will take charge. Go ahead and take Tyler's cam back. Continues to head off to the northeast, passing through New Haven at the current time, heading up towards Richmond It's right in the vicinity of a tiny little cell, which can be shown on the bottom left side of your screen on the stream here. The severe thunderstorm warned storm is going to be off in the distance on the very far left side of Tyler's cam. However, at this current time, there's not really a very heavy pocket of rain. I mean, anything in red is going to be heavy rain nonetheless, but it's not really centralized anymore, if that makes any sense. It's kind of just spreading out across the entire warning box. Let's have a new cell popping up near Flint for our Flint viewers. Unfortunately, it's not heading for Flint. Heading towards Clio instead. This is going to be the vicinity of Vienna Road, which is M57, crossing over I-75 very soon. It's not a concern at the current time. We'll keep monitoring it. Main storyline, though, right now is what is going to go on with this storm, as it is about 2 to 3 minutes away from passing outside of the severe thunderstorm warning box that is currently in effect for northwest St. Clair County. Will they put a warning or a statement? Let us know in the chat below. What do you guys think? As a reminder, a statement is for strong thunderstorms, so it's basically a level below a severe thunderstorm warning. It is reserved for winds of 40 to 55, sometimes as low as 30 they issue it for. Most National Weather Service offices do it for 40 to 55 mile per hour winds, and hail between pea-sized and a nickel size, which is about a quarter of an inch to 0.88 inches in diameter. Severe thunderstorm warning starts at 60 mile per hour winds and 1 inch hail, or 1 inch hail, I should say. That can get issued for one or both hazards. Technically, the wind is 58 miles per hour, but they do round up nowadays in these severe thunderstorm warnings, so 60 miles per hour is the threshold for severe. We had one guess for statement, and that ended up being correct. So a new statement coming in. This is going to be for pretty much the entire Lake Huron shoreline from Port Sanilac down through Marysville. We have to switch the radar real quick to load that in. Once it does, there we go. There's your new statement box in tan. National Weather Service in Detroit issued this until 6:30. It's a long time for a statement here, as the storm is moving still slowly. It says at 5:27, Doppler radar indicated a cluster of strong thunderstorms along a line extending from Applegate to near Yale to 6 miles northwest of St. Clair, and this is moving off to the east at 30 miles per hour. The hazards with this, 50 mile per hour winds, not 60. So about 8 to 10 miles per hour below the severe limits. Gusty winds could knock around tree limbs and blow down unsecured objects. These strong thunderstorms will be near Crosswell, Port Sanilac, Marysville, and Applegate around 5:30 p.m. Interesting. I don't know if that's quite correct. It's still pretty far away. Marysville's way over here, and the storm's not even close to it. Nonetheless, this statement's in effect till 6:30. I was gonna say 5:30. It would have to be that. It would have to be pretty much entering Canada if it was in Marysville at 5:30. I went ahead and gone with the statement here. Anywhere we see these brighter reds turning into kind of a hotter reddish orange is winds of about 50. So there's a couple different pockets all the way up and down. The nearest road here is going to be Brown and Kilgore Road. These roads run north-south through Sanilac and St. Clair counties. So again, St. Clair, you are not in this statement. It's Marysville and points north all the way up to Port Sanilac and Carsonville. If you're in this tan box, respect the polygon, seek shelter inside until this gusty thunderstorm passes through. It is now also 5:30. Our statements for storms back off to the west have expired, even though there are more cells popping up in the vicinity of downtown Detroit. There are no longer any special weather statements in effect. I'm going to go ahead, I don't know if Ryan's listening, but I'm going to go ahead and post that statement that just came in on Facebook. Give me 1 second here. So Ryan had to go. Kind of taking charge and everything. As always, by the way, everyone, as always, all of our alerts can be found on Facebook and X. Our username is MIStormChasers. Otherwise, just type in Michigan Storm Chasers in any social media and you'll find it pretty easily. We are now over 465,000 of you guys on Facebook, so closing in on 500,000 there. So all of our alerts are posted there on Facebook, and all of our warnings can also be found automatically on X. So feel free to follow on any of those platforms. Severe thunderstorm warning set to expire in 14 minutes now. Might be canceled sooner. Might get lucky here. Guess we'll see. And I will mention this real quick. If you have any really cool photos you want to share with us today, if they're not severe, we do have a Facebook group. It is called, you can type this in right now if you're watching on Facebook or you have a separate screen open, Michigan Storm Community. That is the name of our community page here on Facebook. That way you can, when you put posts in there, you can make them be our fair weather posts. So anything that's like cool clouds, that's where you want to put it. If you are watching on or if you do have severe reports, so hail, damaging winds, make sure you put time, location, and a photo in our other group. Type this in on Facebook. It's going to be called Michigan Weather Reports. Our mods here in chat just put the links to those groups here in our YouTube chat at least. And you can go ahead and submit your damage photos in Michigan Weather Reports and your fair weather photos in Michigan Storm Community. So they're kind of separated, and that way we kind of keep them apart from each other. If we're looking for one thing or the other thing. So appreciate you guys' reports. Additionally, you can join our Discord server, discord.gg/Michigan Storm Chasers. And also, if you ever have storm anxiety, it is also there as a resource for y'all to join. So again, discord.gg/Michigan Storm Chasers. And make sure when you are joining the group or joining the Discord server to answer those onboarding questions. So that way, you are all set up and ready to go in those groups. As it stands, though, most of this thunderstorm activity is going to remain to the east of US 127 this evening and probably even US 23, although there are still some storms back towards Jackson, well, showers, I should say, towards Jackson, back towards Adrian as well in southern Michigan. A tiny little cell that is now entering Clio in the next minute or two. As you can see, anywhere off to the west, if we go to the Grand Rapids radar, it's another dry day across the West Michigan area, and drought continues to kind of increase. Speaking of increases, it does appear that our storm in Elkona County is trying to pick up a little bit more gusty winds, so we'll keep an eye on that one. And showers and storms also continue across Schoolcraft, Luce, and western Chippewa County, forming on a lake breeze today and producing quick, heavy downpours. We have one rainfall report at the Betsy Lake Mesonet station of 1.15 inches of rain. That is near Paradise, and they don't really need any more rain up there. They got flash flood warning earlier this week. They got hit pretty hard. A lot of the state continues to get hard in places that don't really need the rain. So if you guys are getting too much rain in the area, the West Michigan would love to see it. Too bad it's not that easy. But tomorrow, good chance at showers and thunderstorms, more so on the west side of the state. Put these storms in motion. Switch back over to our velocity to see where the heaviest the winds are. Pretty much north, along and north of Lambs Road, pretty much I-69, and points north towards Avoca. Go ahead and pause this here. All these brighter reds reach all the way up into extreme southern, well, even all the way up into south central Sanilac County. Pretty much riding down M90 between Peck and Crosswell. Continue to watch these storms as they move off to the east. Lake Huron's problem very soon. This is the radar zoomed out at southeast Michigan. So as you can see, there's not a whole lot going on really at all, except for in southeast Michigan. A couple cells in Lenawee and Monroe County that are not concerning. Nice downpours opening up over downtown Detroit, Hamtramck, Grosse Pointe Park, up towards East Point and Fraser. I have to zoom in super far here. As you can see, we zoom super far out. It shows every single road in the Detroit area, so these cells are kind of blending in a way. So downtown Detroit getting a nice downpour right now, up towards Warren and Mount Clemens. These storms will be onto Lake St. Clair very, very soon, likely by 5:50. Back over here on our YouTube channel, we have Red Dozier, our longtime supporter here at MSC, with another $20 super chat saying, "Pop the bubble over Allegan County. I need to break in my new waterproof shoes." We will do our best tomorrow. Obviously, we have no control over the weather, but we are hoping for rain for you tomorrow to, use those shoes. So thank you as always, Red. Appreciate your support. And again, if you would also like to have a super chat read out here on the stream, feel free to send in a super chat over here on YouTube. If you guys have sent stars on Facebook, we appreciate your support. Unfortunately, we cannot see comments with stars on Facebook, so we do appreciate you guys' support if you have donated stars on Facebook. Shape of the storm has went from a tiny little blob to one big line. And as you can see, a new blue box has popped in for the St. Clair River all the way up onto Lake Huron. So this is the equivalent of a severe thunderstorm warning for the water. So if you know anyone boating tonight on southern Lake Huron and St. Clair River, this is a special marine warning in effect till 6:45 Eastern, so over an hour, for a storm moving northeast at, and again, these are knots because it's marine, 25 knots northeast. Winds in excess of 34 knots or greater are possible. That is the only hazard. No hail, no water spouts expected. Looks like I see Fraser's commenting in here. There's a tiny little bit of a downburst near East Point and Fraser. Let's see if the airport radar kind of picks up on that better. It's a little too far away. It's a weak downburst ongoing in Fraser at the current time. So winds likely gusting to over 30, maybe 40, right now in southern Macomb County. Quick reset here. Current time is 5:39 p.m. on this Monday, August 11th, 2025. A year's flying by. But we are still in our severe weather season. It is only the middle of summer. Again, as a reminder, summer lasts from June through September. So we are still got another month of summer left, and severe weather is not out of the question for at least the next month. We usually see severe weather through the end of August into September, and even sometimes in October. It gets warm in October, especially those earlier days through mid-month. We can see some strong systems move through then with a lot of damaging winds, but again, that is something we'll deal with when the time comes. Right now we are dealing with August 11th. Again, I have Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzma by myself solo tonight. We did have Ryan in here for a little bit, but he had to take care of some things. As a recap, we had a severe thunderstorm warning that popped in for portions of Oakland, Macomb, Lapeer, and St. Clair counties, and as of 1 minute ago, that severe thunderstorm warning has been dropped. So we are now out of severe weather ops. So it is now just gusty winds moving up through portions of southern Sanilac and northern St. Clair counties in excess of 50 miles per hour, which is about 10 miles per hour below severe threshold. We should be good to actually pop off very soon. The only place I'm seeing an increase in winds right now is right to the west of Lexington Heights, which actually shows up better on our storm relative velocity. This almost shows up as a little bit of weak rotation. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at meso just to see how we're doing near the shoreline. Because again, once this storm gets close to the shore, marine can take over, and that can be an issue. There is a little bit of surface instability coupled with some surface vorticity out there. So we'll keep an eye on this storm. This set of storms, actually, there's two different cells that are either exhibiting downburst winds near Crosswell with a little bit of weaker rotation in the upper levels. But yeah, if you go up in height, actually, those are rotating mesos. So that's very interesting as those get closer to the lake. We'll keep an eye on those. Again, as a reminder, we saw this 2 or 3 weeks ago now over in Deckerville. We did have a spin-up tornado, quite a strong EF1 that spun up, and it was very much under the radar beam. It had similar, actually, I will say this, it looks exactly like these storms are right now. That was that storm about 3 weeks ago in Deckerville. So we'll keep an eye on these storms as they get very, very close to Lake Huron. So if you are in this statement, you do want to be taking shelter indoors. That's what the statement says. And again, prepare for 50-mile-per-hour winds possible. Just looking at radar, though, you can see there is a little bit of reds and greens in the upper levels of the atmosphere, which do denote upper-level rotation. Not likely near the ground, but again, we'll continue to watch it. So I'll stay on here live just in case until this set of storms moves on to Lake Huron. If you are in the southern cell, riding along I-69, there's not really too much in terms of gusty winds moving through there. A couple of pixels in this neighborhood to the east of Memphis, west of Marysville, around 30 to 40 miles per hour. So that's still statement worthy, but not near 50 at the current time. News scan coming in for this storm here near Lexington Heights, and rotation continues to increase a little bit in the upper levels. So let's see if I can get anybody here in CPN to respond, see if anyone's out there. But you can only see it on our storm relative velocity. If you switch over to normal base velocity, because all these storms are moving away from the radar, it's all going to show up as weaker to stronger reds. Again, red means storms moving away from the radar site, greens mean winds moving towards. So when you flip it over to storm relative velocity, you can see that the backside of the storm is pushing back towards the west. So greens to the west, reds to the east. Where those come closer together, that would be some rotation. But this is rather elevated at the current time. We've seen weaker signatures, though, do damage, considering Deckerville already happened three weeks ago. We do want to keep an eye on this storm. I don't know if you guys can hear my cat, but he's meowing outside my door. If you guys have, again, and if you guys have any reports, feel free to send those in with pictures. The time and location is the best thing to remember when you do send in any reports. We are getting scans in at intervals of 2.5 minutes. So our next scan here will be momentarily, actually. So this is live. This is in the Applegate, Crosswell, Lexington, and Lexington Heights region in Sanilac County. We're watching specifically these reds and greens that are close together. The height, by the way, on these storms is about 4,200, about 4,000 to 4,200 feet off the ground. So we can't really see what's happening below that level at the current time. So we'll keep an eye on it. Two different areas. We have area number 1, the reds and greens right here. We have area number 2, just to the east of Applegate, about 3 to 4 miles to the east of Applegate. It's going to be on Lake Huron very momentarily. But that southern one that I just said is over Cribbins Road, south of Crosswell, heading up towards Crosswell. So if you guys can see anything, let us know. Otherwise, make sure you are sheltered. Safety is number 1 key at the current time. So Crosswell, you kind of have cells on both sides of you. One to the northeast and one to your south. Left side of your screen, by the way, is base reflectivity radar. That's the intensity of the rain that's falling. So even if there's no concern for severe weather, you are getting some torrential downpours out here, producing anywhere between about 1 inch to 1.5 inches per hour rainfall rates, especially in the reds and even where the reds turn into pinks. So looking at meso-analysis behind the scenes, I don't know if I can share this per se. Let's see if I can. I probably can't. I cannot. Darn. I was going to show you guys what I'm seeing here on meso-analysis. There's a little tiny bit of low-level spin in the atmosphere right along the edge of Lake Huron. So we do have to keep an eye on this storm. It's kind of like our cheat code here in meteorology. Meso-analysis updates every hour. It's what's happening in the atmosphere on a scientific level. Looking at it from a scientific standpoint, there's a little bit of surface vorticity coupled with low-level rotation below 2 kilometers in the atmosphere. So that most of that, it would be occurring below the radar beam. So we do have to keep a keen eye on what is happening at the lowest levels, which right now, again, are about 4,200 feet off the ground. Quick zoom out down towards Detroit once again. Southern Macomb County and northern Wayne. Nice line of showers and storms moving through there. No concerns for severe. Also have nice pop-up cells in Lenawee County still. Those are traveling towards Dundee and Milan. Otherwise, the main concern right now is these storms near Lake Huron, the vicinity of Lexington and Lexington Heights. This is where I would usually ask to see if there's any power outages to report, but I do not have anyone else in here to kind of deal with that right now. So if you guys here are watching in stream and want to let us know if there's any power outages in the vicinity of southern Sanilac County, let me know. I'm just going to stay hawk-eyed in on this, just given what happened in Deckerville a couple weeks ago. Just to make sure the storm gets safely onto Lake Huron before we can officially cut the stream for this evening. Before I forget, first off, Tyler is still out there chasing. He is... I don't have his dot anymore. Looks like he's on the interstate, though. I-94, I believe. Oh, he's all the way up in... wow, made some good time there. He's all the way up in Port Huron. So that would be correct, I-94. As I was saying, though, I'm going to keep the radar looping real quick. As always, in every stream, we always go through we take a couple minutes to go through our sponsors here. It takes about 2 minutes. But again, we can't do what we do without our sponsors. So again, feel free to give them your support, whether that's a like here in chat or your business. Again, all of the phone numbers are always going to be scrolling across the top of the screen, but they'll also be here where I am on the left side of your screen as we roll through them. So we'll go through the list here. Shout out to all these sponsors as we go through them. Starting with StormGuard Roofing and Construction. It's based out of North Metro Detroit, so this region of the state. Got Lifestyle Exteriors, based out of Lansing and Traverse City. Katz Roofing and Siding, Potterville area in Eden County. Pro Powder Inc., based out of South Haven. Mike Hayes Roofing and Siding, for those who are actually watching in Sand Lake and St. Clair counties right now. This is your sponsor for all things roofing and siding. Got McKay Tree Specialist for all tree needs in Southeast Michigan. Kuiper Tree Care, all tree needs in West Michigan. All your barn dominium needs across the Lower Peninsula turn to FBI buildings. On Top Roofing, based out of Livingston County. Schneider Commercial Building Solutions, based out of Lansing. All of your insurance and adjustment needs can also be found at Shield Public Adjusters, based out of Lansing. Top Gun Roofing and Exteriors, based out of West Michigan. A-Class Construction and Restoration, based out of Mason County in Northwest Lower. Rainbow Restoration, based out of Kent County in West Michigan. Rapid Radios, Michigan-based company for all of your LT wireless walkie-talkie needs. Guardian Technologies for all of your security camera needs, based out of Burton. Also our host for our Skynet cams here at MSC. Feel free to donate to the Ronald McDonald House of Detroit by calling the number on your screen there. The American Arbor, based out of Southwest Michigan, for all of your tree and arborist needs there. And finally, Apex Restoration and Mitigation. That is going to be based out of The Thumb. I believe hosted out of Grand Blanc. So those are all our sponsors here at MSC. Trusted Partners is what they're also called. Licensed and insured. Made sure we did that here at MSC. So they are trusted. If you guys have any severe weather repair needs and you forgot our sponsors, feel free to reach out to us, send us a message, and we will get you in contact with one of our sponsors here at MSC. That is what we do after the storm as a way to give back to you guys here at MSC. We want to make sure you guys have the right sponsors to reach out to and not someone that might be, a little bit shady. So, again, those are there for you guys. Again, shout out to our sponsors. Appreciate them very much. Tyler continues to head off to the north, I believe, towards Gardendale and Lakeport. He's in northern side of Port Huron right now. These storms are just about onto the water. We'll probably be able to cut it here in about 5 minutes. Gusty winds. There's a pocket of gusty winds right now on Swearweir Road at Greening Road, and now that pocket has moved off onto Lake Huron. So it looks like the strongest of winds are either on M25 right now or pretty much on the water at the current time. Going back down to St. Clair Shores, current time, St. Clair Shores region down to Detroit. You guys actually just got a special marine warning for the waters there for wind gusts of 34 knots or greater, which translates to about 40-mile-per-hour winds on land. So if you are experiencing power outages right now, that is likely due to a gusty thunderstorm, not as severe. in Detroit and St. Clair shores up towards Mount Clemens, and that has continued to billow up over the last half hour. Speaking of billowing up still, we have this nice pocket of showers and storms in the Lenawee-Monroe County region. I'll go ahead and switch over to the airport radar to check in and see how the winds are going with this one. Current time, couple downbursts. As you can see, the brighter greens on the right side of your screen. That's going to be winds of about 40. No statement on that, but would not be surprised if they go ahead and pull the trigger at some point with that. For those in Grosse Pointe Woods and St. Clair Shores, from the airport radar, you can see a little pocket of brighter reds on velocity, indicative of some winds of 35 to 40, which would verify this special marine warning on the waters over Lake St. Clair. So 40-mile-per-hour winds gusting onto Lake St. Clair at the current time, not severe, but still strong enough to bring down a couple tree limbs and cause a little bit of isolated power outages. Once this stream is done, I will be posting the severe weather outlook here on our Facebook page first. So make sure you're following us on Facebook. Michigan Storm Chasers closing in again on 500,000 of you guys. 500,000. It's kind of crazy to think about. Also, if you haven't subscribed on YouTube yet, it is free to do as long as you have a Google account. Completely free, as I mentioned. Hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 100,000 here on YouTube. So thank you guys very much for tuning in on either of those platforms. Additionally, we are also live right now on X and Twitch TV at the username MIStormChasers. But at the current time, because this line of storms is now pretty much on Lake Huron, and this line of storms is pretty much on Lake St. Clair, what we're going to do is we're going to roll the outro. Maybe. Maybe. Actually, yeah, we should be good. If another warning pops up, obviously we will go live again. That's our motto. We will go live from beginning to end for all severe thunderstorm warnings. Right now there are no severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, so good news there. Take note, there are a couple special marine warnings out there for boaters on Lake St. Clair and Lake Huron. No Saint in front of Huron there. And a special weather statement in effect for far eastern Sanilac and St. Clair counties. Otherwise, everywhere else in the state, there's not anything going on that is deserving of a statement. But again, we'll be back if another warning pops up. That is our motto. So feel free to follow along if you haven't already. Again, we've been doing this since 2022 is when we first started. We started doing streams in 2023. And since the end of 2023, we have not missed a single severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning in the state. So we got you guys covered truly from beginning to end as our motto. And we'll be back later as needed. But for now, I'm Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzma signing off. We'll catch you guys maybe soon, if not tomorrow, here at MSC as a new special weather statement pops in. I'm actually going to go ahead and read this off real quick as that just popped in. This is a special weather statement for winds of 40, which makes sense. 40-mile-per-hour winds and no hail expected. This is a very large statement, and that is moving off to the east towards southern Wayne and northern Monroe counties. So it's this cell right here. That's the set of cells from Clayton to Adrian, Britain, Dundee, Petersburg, up towards Milan. These cells are exhibiting winds of about 40 miles per hour, so not severe, but could still be strong. And of course, frequent cloud to ground lightning ongoing with these storms. So make sure you're taking shelter inside and wait at least 30 minutes until you last hear thunder or see lightning before coming back outside and resuming your evening activities. So, heading out from now. If a new warning pops in, we'll go live again. But again, I'm Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritzma signing off. Make sure you follow us here on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch for all future live streams. Have a great evening, everyone. If we don't see you later, otherwise, see you soon. And have a great evening, no matter what you're doing out there. Stay safe. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive warning, and we'll catch you soon.